Alright, Shalom. When you praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Salutations to the men of the hopeful and sincere elect. It's Makazak from Trinidad Camp. With me here is the brother Malak. I just want to do a little class, I think we will call it practice makes perfect. Alright? Practice makes perfect, because being in this truth is not like, you're just coming in and you just learn 2-3 scriptures and that is it. There's something you have to grow in. There's something you have to constantly be going over. In a sense, this faith is something that is redundant. It's just over and over and over again. Alright, because every day you learn something new. So you have to be going over things day by day. Alright? So there's not something to get weary of and just learn for a while and just, well, I know enough, so guess what? It's something that you have to continuously going over, because guess what? It's easy for you to forget. But when you're continuously going over, it becomes natural. It becomes a habit. Alright?
It becomes a part of you.
Alright? This is James chapter 1 verse 23. Start at verse 22. It says, but be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. Yeah, like some men who come, they hear the word sounds sweet unto them, they just hear us, but they ain't doing the will. Alright? And men who coming in learning 2-3 scriptures and just want to settle with just those 2-3 scriptures, guess what? Those 2-3 scriptures that you know is where you heard. Alright? That was basically you being in this truth for 2-3 years, you basically a mockingbird. Alright? And you just running off of where you hear. But when you continue in the faith, then you start to learn things through the Spirit. You will learn some things, a year, 2 years, 3 years coming in. But guess what? Basically, that is the mockingbird stage, just like a baby. A baby at 2-3 years mimicking what they see the parents do. But after they start advancing more, they start to do things their own way. They start to do their own breakdowns, wherever the case is. Still on the point, but adding their own twist to it. Alright, and that is when they start to become a doer of the word. So even when you're fresh in this thing, you're a hearer. So your goal is to actually to be a doer of the word. But to be a doer of the word, you have to continue in the word. Alright? It says, for if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. So guess what? If you don't continue in this thing, you might actually, you might be tagging that old man along. Alright? And forget, the scriptures say that denying the Lord that bought them. And you're actually forgetting why you came in this truth. Alright? But when you constantly go over the scriptures, guess what? You wouldn't forget the man that you once was, and you wouldn't forget the man that you're trying to be, that the Lord aspiring you to be. Alright? You wouldn't forget, because why? You would have a constant reminder. And guess what? Things wouldn't slip from you. It would be natural. You remember the Sabbath day. You even during the Sabbath, you remember, hey, today's the Sabbath, so let me keep myself in check. Alright? Things will come natural to you. By what? By being a doer of the word.
If I can say it very quick too, stay in the scriptures is a form of you keeping staying in the spirit too. You understand? And keeping that flame burning. Because the more you go over the scriptures, the more you stay in the word, is the more understanding you get through the spirit of the Most High. And is the more you want to desire to be out of this place. Because scripture says in Sirach 21, I believe it's verse 12, that there's a wisdom that multiplied bitterness. You understand? So the more you stay in the word, is the more you're going to get more bitter in the spirit, and the more you're going to desire to the Lord. But as the brother said, is the more you will remember precepts, is the more you have more understanding, you'll grow, you'll expand on the things they bring out, whether it's in the Harrison byways or in a video, whatever the case might be. You understand? You'll be able to apply scriptures that mightn't have a particular word that a brother mentioned, but on the same topic. You understand that he on coinciding with his he talking about. So by that coming by studying.
And that is when you're advancing from being a mockingbird into actually somebody that actually being a doer of the word. That is when you're showing your works. Alright?
Showing growth.
Yeah, showing growth. And that comes from what? From practice. Alright? It says going back to the James, this verse 25, it says, but whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continue it therein. So you have to continue in this. Alright? He being not a forgetful hearer. Not the forgetful hearer is the ones who actually just come in and probably don't want to watch the apostles' videos. Just want to be laid back. Just want to have that laid back spirit. Like we do a video the other day, that laid back spirit will get killed. Alright? When you're laid back, you ain't actually putting any time in to, like Bruce Lee said here, I fear not the man that has practiced 10,000 kicks once. So it's like you watch videos, you see couple of scriptures, couple of breakdowns, but guess what? After watching 10,000 breakdowns once, you still wouldn't be able to do one. You have to keep going over it until you be able to do this breakdown. It says what? I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. You keep going over the breakdowns, going over it until it comes a part of you. Study the law, alright? So you will know how to apply yourself, what to do, what not to do. Alright? The scriptures, Lord say, leave a commandment that we love one another. Paul teaches how to love one another, the things that we ought to do to and for one another. And this comes from practicing, rehearsing the laws, going over it constantly. Because as the brother always keeps saying, Lord grooming us to be potential members of the elect. You auditioning right now. When you're auditioning, you have to keep going over. Paul talked about men who racing for incorruptible crown. Like Usain Bolt before the Olympics, he trains, he practice. And look at the position he in right now. So we laboring for incorruptible crown, how to be doing the same. Alright?
That's what I will keep.
It says, and he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the word, this man shall be blessed in his deed. This man shall be blessed. The man are continuing the word. Alright? The man are continuing the word. Alright? Go ahead.
This is Judges 5 verse 11. It says, they that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates.
Yes, we said we're gonna rehearse the righteous acts. When you rehearse in something, they keep going over it until they get right. Every day is a learning experience. So every day is practice, every day is training. Alright, that's why they be going over these scriptures, going over the breakdowns. Alright? Trying to perfect yourself as a man of the Lord. Alright? Trying to perfect yourself. Alright? Let me read this. This is Colossians chapter 2 verse 10. It says, and ye are complete in him, which is the head of all principality and power. So you have to be complete in this, and to be complete in the Lord, it goes back to what? To practice. Alright? You say that you wouldn't be wanting nothing. And I come from practicing. That is come from rehearsing the laws. Alright? That is come from going over the breakdowns. Alright? You don't just come in this thing just to be laid back. You have to keep going over scriptures. So that the more you go over it, the more you would understand it, the more it will be so much a part of you that you wouldn't even have to be thinking too hard to bring out a scripture. And you could even, like a DJ. A DJ will know exactly, he'll bring out a song, he will know exactly what song to bring out. So like he just flowing from song into song. And that is how you have to be like a spiritual DJ. Alright? In that sense. Alright? But
this is Joshua 1 verse 8. It says, this is the book of the law. This book of the law, Slakia, shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein.
Yes, you have to meditate upon it day and night. Alright? There's not something that you You just relax on. There's something that you have to constantly applying yourself. The scriptures say, I apply myself to know wisdom. Alright? Will the scriptures talk about them in Ecclesiasticus? Read them that real quick. This Ecclesiasticus chapter 39 verse 1. But he that giveth his mind unto the law of the Most High, you give your mind over unto it, you give your heart unto it. Mean what? Your love is the word. And is occupied in the meditation thereof. Meditation mean what? Even when you're working, it's like, hey, and really and truly, the scripture said in Luke 7, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We come like magicians, because that is the same thing what artists will do. You will be inspired by every little thing. Every little thing will inspire him to write a song, to make a movie. Every little thing will inspire him. So the same way we have to be. Every little thing had to inspire us to do a video. Sometimes you might be working, somebody says something, hey, there's a video. You might be reading a scripture, hey, there's a video. You might see something happen, hey, there's a video. That is how you have to be. But to be that way, you always have to be musing after the words of the Lord. Your mind had to be meditating upon the words of the Lord always, and then it's like the Lord, thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Means what? You're gonna have an unlimited supply of that knowledge. The Lord gonna be supping with you non-stop.
That happened to me when I read it. Every other precept that I have to do. So really and truly, you can never run out of ideas or classes to put together. You understand? But how we gonna put together the classes if they don't know the precepts to go with it? You understand? So you gotta be going over the word. You understand?
I'll finish it. It says, occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. So you're gonna be always occupied in this thing. Now that come from what? From practicing, from exercising the words. Alright? That's how we have to be in this thing. Right.
It's Deuteronomy 6 verse 6. It says, and these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest.
Okay, the scriptures say, let thy speech be with the fear of the Lord, and basically talk with them that fear the Most High. When you're around brothers who fear the Most High, all they're gonna be talking about is scriptures. So guess what? That is practice right there, because everybody did training. So everybody scriptures back and forth. And guess what? That could actually scripture say iron sharpen iron. You actually helping each other to grow. Right? Good.
And when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up.
Yes, your mind had to be constantly on the words of the Lord. Alright? Is it? It says 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 10. It says, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. So you have to give diligence. You have to give diligence with them 10,000 kicks. With that one kick 10,000 times. Salakia. Alright? It says, for if you do these things, ye shall never fall. So if you be diligent in this word, you will never fall. Because why? Because according to the scriptures, it says what? It says 1 Timothy. This is my bad. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 22. It says, flee also youthful lust, and follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace with them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart. Alright? So guess what? By doing these things, you're actually cleansing yourself, because your mind will actually be upon the words of the Lord so much that you would actually be resisting the devil. They say apple they keep the doctor away, but scripture they keep the devil away, because you're actually being so much in the spirit that you're actually building up down the scripture. Take down the word of faith, which is the shield of faith, which is the word. Alright? You're actually helping yourself to build an immunity against these unclean spirits.
Yes, you'll be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, which is trickery. This is Ecclesiastes 10 verse 18. It says, by much slothfulness the building decayed, and through idleness of the hands the house dropped through.
Mhm.
As they back up before they talk about fall.
Yeah, so you had to be exercising in this. You had to be training right through. Training with what? Training with the words of the Lord.
So like here, because they come just like a car, they maintain the car. If it is they don't maintain the parts of the car, eventually the car will just be run down and beat up and it will stop work eventually. So just as I use the analogy, there's the same thing that apply with the truth, that they keep maintaining your spirit. The scripture said, I keep my body under subjection. And what you're doing by staying in the spirit, by constantly going over the word and not just reading it but actually applying it to your life. You understand? To yourself and doing the things scripture said to do.
Not just hearing it.
Yep. And the scripture said they come and they sit as my people, but they will not do what does the rest prophet it. I think that is Ezekiel 33 and 32 or something so. There's Hebrews 5 and I'll start verse 12. It says, for the time ye ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of Yahweh.
Yeah, the oracles mean what the men who are the word, how this word. Understand? Go ahead.
And it says that the first principles of the oracles of the Most High. In other words, that the first thing you had to go through. Being a man of the Lord, you had to be taught. You understand? Let's get pick up the Bible and let's go out there and teach, and you don't know what it is they're teaching. It says what? Which be the first principles of the oracles of God, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. But everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe.
Because he's a babe, he's a mockingbird. He's just a hearer of the word at that point. Alright? A hearer of the word aspiring to be a doer. Alright? Go ahead.
But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil.
Yeah, have the senses exercised, because why? There's something that they've been, like from apostle to how they went down. They've been in this, so they've been exercising long enough, so they at that age where they actually doers of the word. But we now coming up in this thing, we actually hearers aspiring to be doers. Alright, because we like mockingbirds coming up, and a mockingbird is basically a hearer. Now it have different levels in the hearers. Hearers who hear the word, found it sweet, and just wouldn't even go out and preach. And then the hearers is like them who hear the word and just repeating what they hear. But the doers is the man who actually applying the self, and after a certain amount of years, they actually start to be so much into the word that the Lord supper with them on a different level. They start to do breakdowns. Alright, like the apostles, yeah, like the elders.
Meat breakdowns too.
Yeah, meat breakdowns.
Now the name of the lessons is practice makes perfect. Scripture say, be perfect as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. When you look up the word perfect, there means to be complete and of full age. So the scripture say in Hebrews say they have a full age, having their senses both exercised to discern both good and evil. You understand? And that comes by practice. Because Apostle Tab been in this thing for about 31 years now. So he been constantly going over this over and over for 31 years straight, non-stop, no breaks. You understand? So really and truly, you can see that he's perfect, because he has a full age in this thing. You understand? He's a full age in this truth. You understand? Because he's been constantly repeating the teachings over and over and over and over and over and over and over until he start getting deeper and deeper and deeper into the breakdowns, getting more revelations, getting more, the Most High, the brother said the Most High supping with him on a different level right now. Him and the other apostles, because they've been constantly going over the word from since 31 years ago, 26 years ago, 24 years ago. How long the apostles been in this truth, So the more you go over the word, the better you get at it when it comes to handling the scriptures. You understand? And that's how you'll be able to basically shut down the gainsayers, the so-called gainsayers. You understand? Because by you going over the word and by you getting deeper in the spirit, you'll be able to shut down any cunningly devised methods of approach to when certain scoffers and scorners come to bring certain accusations or points to try and confound you. You understand? Or even if a guy come with some, accusation that might seem wrong to others, you'll be able to basically debunk whatever it is he's saying through the spirit and through the scriptures. Because why? You've been practicing. You're a master of the law, in other words. And to become a master of the law, because you have to be going over the law constantly, right through. You understand? And what Bruce Lee was saying basically here in his quote. You understand? The man who have practiced one kick 10,000 times will become a master of that particular kick, that style of kick he doing. Whether it's a spin kick or a normal whatever kick, or like a kick to the head, whatever the case is, you will master it, you will perfect it. You understand? But the guy who practicing 10,000 kicks once will just be a jack of all trades but a master of none. You know? So that's basically it.
So with that, they want to say all praises to Abba Shemir Shai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone at Rulewell. Salutations to the men of the hope, the elect. They stay in the spirit. You are most out there. Shalom.
Shalom.